According to a Kotaku article I read, the NFT bubble has burst. So now what? Well, nothing. Like everything that is new, ahead of its time, and not well understood, widespread adoption of it takes time. In this case, the NFT market was kind of flat, went up 90% suddenly, and then dropped 90%. That means 90% of people who jumped into NFTs at that point were just trying to make a quick buck and didn't really care about NFTs or digital art for that matter. This became painfully clear to me when I started researching and creating my own NFTs. Prior to the crash, the public marketplaces were oversaturated with garbage, and it was a chore to find any art that looked like it was created by a serious artist. I wouldn't blame the public for not being impressed by NFTs if that's the level of quality they might expect. There's definitely a lot of crypto and meme culture stuff out there, but I think that will drop off and NFTs will become more focused around serious digital art, music, and other types of content as more well-established creators enter the market. The Kotaku article has a quote saying, "NFTs are at best a scam and at worst an impending environmental disaster. Environmental concerns." I hear ya. I don't want to wreck the environment either. I'm a vegetarian, and meat consumption is a major contributor to greenhouse gases associated with food production. I try to be as environmentally compassionate as I am able to. But get real for a minute. This is YouTube, and we are on the internet right now. Yes, the same internet with an energy consumption far greater than is consumed by the Ethereum network. So where's the outrage about the internet? Come on, let's ban the internet. Oh wait, you like the internet? It's useful to you? And there are good things that outweigh the bad things? Okay. Oh, but no one really needs NFTs because no one needs art. But we do need cat videos. I think part of the hate around NFTs stems from the lack of appreciation or understanding of digital art. This is evident in the fact that I don't see traditional artists being attacked in the comments for offering prints made from trees, which may have even been printed with electricity generated from coal or something just as unsavory. For those of you who are going to unsubscribe from my channel, we can at least agree that the environment is sacred, and we should do everything we can to protect it. But starting a keyboard war over some niche use of energy is a waste of energy itself. There are more effective ways to fight for the environment, and I urge you to consider some of those methods. I, for one, am optimistic that if we continue to embrace new things like digital art, NFTs, decentralized finance, or renewable energy, we can solve the problem of destroying our planet. And we can make the world a more equitable place for everyone. It's infighting that disrupts progress, and it's just all too convenient that as we're starting to embrace decentralized finance and clean energy, bad actors come along and turn us against each other. For all of the positive hype, there is always negative hype. Content creators hating on NFTs and spreading disinformation about the environmental impact while raking in corporate ad revenue from mega Earth destroying Google seems a little odd to me, but this is 2021. Like, I'm killing the environment a little bit more, so that makes me bad. Where's the threshold, man? I think the critics are looking past the fact that a lot of the energy consumption for crypto is actually carbon neutral and is becoming even more so. If we could just get the world to fully cooperate on climate change, this whole argument of how we use our energy might someday go away. In their infancy, many technologies start out inefficient, but then we make better and better iterations. Why? Because we have a long-term vision. We don't just try an idea and then give up if it doesn't work the very first time. What killed the NFT market is the short-term vision. The fact that 90% of people want instant gratification, that they go all in on an emotion without really putting any logic behind it. It's a lot like the short-sighted Kotaku article. NFTs were supposed to change the world. It's like the dude who wrote about how lame light bulbs are a year after they were invented, claiming hardly anyone in America uses them. One of the concerns about energy consumption is that NFT minting or the computer power required to process the transactions is inefficient and consumes excessive energy relative to traditional payment systems. Minting or processing transactions does not actually increase or affect the energy consumption of the network, but nevertheless, NFTs were never something that those 90% of people who abandoned the cause were ever going to pursue long-term or become successful at. I'd wager to say that 90% of the people who do take NFTs seriously and stick with them long-term won't be successful. That's art. Just think about how many prints on paper are churned out on a daily basis. Anyone who has done this themselves knows that there's time, money, and energy involved in that, and it doesn't make financial sense to make a ton of prints unless you're actually able to sell a lot of them. I heard the word scam used a lot too when describing NFTs. Yes, you can get scammed at anything. Scammers are people who are getting you to make decisions based on your emotions. There are loads of forgeries of traditional paintings, and I'd be surprised if a lot of the officially licensed prints out there on Etsy and eBay are not counterfeits. If you're an art collector, you're probably willing to assume some risk to pursue your passion, and you have probably done enough research to spot a fake or at least a fishy website. If you're just someone looking to make $100,000 because you saw something about NFTs on the local news, then you probably are going to get your money taken because you have no idea what you're doing, and scammers prey on that. If you have purchased courses or products from me, or maybe you've worked with me in person, you know I'm not a scammer, and you can always message me if you have concerns about the authenticity of an NFT of mine. If you're buying an NFT from someone, know who you're buying it from. Don't know how to figure that out? Don't buy NFTs. You wouldn't buy a Banksy from some guy with a paint scraper in an alley, now would ya? And now for my conclusion. In my original video about NFTs, I gave some advice. I said, start out slow. That's what I did. I got my feet wet, got a sense of the time, money, and effort involved, and waited. Had I gone all in at once, it's possible I could have made some money, but it's far more likely that I'd have just paid a bunch of excessive gas fees, and it would be hard to dig myself out of that to make a profit, especially considering how the market has changed between now and then. I'm still waiting for Ethereum 2.0 before I take any major steps. Once gas fees are irrelevant and energy consumption is slashed by 99%, the friction around NFTs will be greatly reduced, and I'll feel more comfortable investing more into building up my collection. In the meantime, if someone requested that I mint something on demand, I'd consider that. I feel all this negative sentiment around NFTs does have some genuine concern behind it, and I share the foundations of those concerns. But in my opinion, those concerns were greatly amplified and distorted by fearmongers who just wanted to profit off the negative sentiment. It's more of the same tribalism that keeps us divided. For those of you who are into NFTs for the long haul, you'll be pleased to note that after that peak or crash, the overall support for NFTs remains higher. You might see some similarities in the adoption of Bitcoin or Ethereum. They have big spikes and then those spikes disappear, but the level of support is higher each time. The same can be said for the value of purchased NFTs. Those may fluctuate with the price of Ethereum, but we also have yet to see NFTs appreciate in value in other ways. For instance, an artist might become more popular or die. If you've made your determination about NFTs at this point in its history, you're probably going to be very surprised when this huge crash looks like a little blip in 5 or 10 years.
5 or 10 years?
Yeah, that's the problem. Some people want everything now, for free. They don't want to work for anything, no dedication. I still think we are a ways off from someone like myself being able to sell an NFT as easily as a print on Zazzle. It's still too new and there aren't enough buyers who are savvy enough to feel confident buying NFTs. If people would tone down the negativity a bit, that would help, but it's really up to the digital art community to make NFTs more acceptable. You younger artists might not know the struggles we older artists had to face. People told us digital art wasn't real. They told us the electricity we used would obliterate the planet. They said our faces would burn off because of the high levels of radiation, but we kept doing it, and now it's socially acceptable to make art on a computer. That's all. If you're interested in more videos and tutorials that are content creator focused, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.